welcome to On Point Live. I'm your announcer, Michael Horn, with our producer, Corey Marino. Stars of our show, two great, famous, iconic football superstars. The fearless quarterback known for leading the Rams to the Super Bowl in 1979 with that cannon arm. We're talking about Vince Ferragamo. Alongside him, Hall of Famer, 7-time Pro Bowler, 4-time NFC Offensive Lineman of the Year, the one and only Jackie Slater. Let's give him a welcome to their show. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hey, welcome, Michael. How you doing?
Big crowd today. Big crowd today in Vince's backyard. Okay,
That's
welcome
right.
to the
We're
show,
hanging out,
everybody.
and then as soon as we get done, we're going to take a nice dive into this cool water and just relax. That's what we're going to do, Mike.
Gentlemen, how's your week going? What's been happening? You've been watching soccer?
Wow. Man,
what have you been doing?
soccer is exploding.
Yes.
It's sad to see USA is out of the tournament now, Jackie. And Mexico too. I mean, Mexico was right there.
Yeah, Mexico. I was pulling really hard for Mexico. A lot of people that go to my church, a lot of my friends were pulling hard for Mexico. They had their Mexican jerseys on and everything.
They were into this game.
Successful for a lot of years.
It's your buddy, Joey Hot Dog Chestnut.
Oh,
How many hot dogs?
Man, now you're
I don't know
talking
how many hot
professional
dogs.
sports.
I don't know how many hot dogs, but this guy
65. He ate
great
65.
gastroenterologist.
There's a stat over here. He averages 6.2 hot dogs per minute he eats.
That's unbelievable, man. You know, you're stretching out your stomach. You're stretching out your stomach. You know, there's nothing better for man to do under the sun than to eat, to drink, and to tell himself that his work is good, because this is a gift from God. But this is not what he's supposed to be
that
doing.
many hot dogs.
You're not supposed to be doing that. Good gracious, man.
Yeah, how was your fourth? Good, Mike?
Well, it was very good. I got together with some Harmony cheese and just ordered up everything I could find from Wisconsin, the breadbasket of our country. Harmony Cheese happens to be our sponsor. You can check it out at harmonycheese.com. Order your favorite cheeses up there. Don't forget, when you check out, mention CRN Talk. You get 10% off your order. Email us, onpoint@crntalk.com. Don't forget our website, onpointlive.net. And for gosh sakes, follow us on our YouTube channel, On Point Live with Vince and Jackie. We're a radio show. We're also a podcast on all podcast platforms. Plus, on your smartphone, dial pound 250 and hit send. When the call is answered, say, find my podcast. They'll ask you which one. You say, On Point Live. Vince and Jackie will be right back on Point Live. Stay with us. Welcome back to On Point Live. Michael Horn, Corey Marino, with the stars of our show, Jackie Slater and Vince Ferragamo from the Los Angeles Rams, and all points in between. All right, so we started off talking about, there's a lot of stuff going on here. There's some soccer, there's baseball, football camp getting ready to go, trades going on in basketball and hockey. But the big story, and I think you gentlemen touched on it, the Nathan's hot dog eating contest on the 4th of July. Joey Chestnut won another one, 17 of his last 18 appearances at Nathan's hot dog eating contest. Jackie Slater, what do you think about that? This guy
Hey, man, listen,
65.
there's nothing better for man to do under the sun, like I said, than to eat. But I mean, this guy is, you look at him, Vince, he's a normal sized guy. I bet
that big.
He doesn't look like he weighs 200 pounds. And how he can go and eat 1,284 and a half hot dogs in 206 minutes, it's got to be something. He's got to be tearing up something or stretching something out of place.
I don't know. Where's it going?
That's over.
Where does it go?
And, he's not like he's chewing it up.
That's over. That's over the.
You can't chew it and swallow it and eat that many hot dogs that fast by chewing it up.
Got to be something awfully wrong.
But that's over. That's over.
My brother used to eat it.
Oh,
208 minutes of competition. So it's an average of 6.2 hot dogs per minute.
It's insane, man.
That's 18 years worth.
I can't imagine. I just can't imagine it, man. It's unbelievable.
I want to ask you guys a personal question. We'll start with you, Vince.
Okay.
And I know it's sponsored by Nathan's, but Nathan's hot dogs or Hebrew National? What do you think?
Well,
Come on.
The hot dogs, the good juicy hot dogs are the big ones.
Yeah.
I mean, we cooked
The
some
big
before
ones.
July,
Yeah,
Jackie.
yeah.
Those
And
big
they were
beef ones.
unbelievable. Yeah, the big ones.
But you got to answer the question.
Well, I mean, I don't buy either one of those two. I buy Oscar Mayer.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Or Farmer
Jackie.
John. Farmer John. There are so many good suppliers.
Oh boy.
So many
Jackie,
good suppliers.
set him straight, Jackie. What is it? Nathan's or Hebrew
Well,
National?
this is what I have come to realize. When you go to a cookout, and if you are going to enjoy yourself, you are going to eat the hot dogs that they have there and prepared.
That's correct. That's correct.
It's like the Italian sausage.
The only thing
you're going to eat it
listen,
either spicy
the
or
only thing that I want in my hot dog is that it is a little bit seared on the outside.
Oh yeah,
a little bit seared on the outside, even charred a little bit,
right.
even charred a little bit, because
That's the way my wife likes
I like my hot. I don't like it too juicy. A little bit more crusty. I like it a little.
That sounds good. Because you got the soft bun.
Yeah.
Once you bite through that, you bite right in. And what about what kind of spread?
You gotta have
mustard.
You gotta have pickle relish on top of your mustard.
How about onion?
And give some raw onion. Give me some raw onion, not cooked onions. The raw onions on top, and then some ketchup on top of that.
What?
Yeah.
All that?
Yeah, all of that. What are you talking about?
Hold on.
That?
Corey,
I just like mustard.
Corey,
relish.
set us straight. What's your favorite
Mustard
hot dog?
Yeah, what about Corey?
Nathan's or Hebrew National?
I go with Jackie, but I'll go with whatever's made for me. I'll eat, but I'll go with Hebrew National.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, Hebrew National. I would agree.
Here's the deal.
I'm a Hebrew National.
Gentlemen,
like that.
So you guys eat more hot dogs than I do. Let's just
gotta be an all beef.
I eat more sausage. Italian
Got to be an all beef hot dog, which is Nathan's or Hebrew National. They're both pretty good. You can get them the regular size, or you can get all beef, or you can get them that extra long all beef. Here's what you want to do when you're barbecuing. The great chef Paul Prudhomme from Louisiana told me the way to get the perfect hot dog is to paint them with olive oil while they are on the grill. It turns them a golden brown color. You take them off.
How come I never knew this, Michael?
I knew somebody else that did that.
I never knew that.
I'm telling you, you put mustard on the bun, lay the hot dog on the mustard, and I used to be opposed to ketchup. Lately, I've gone a little bit of the ketchup route. Then you put your chopped onions on, and then you can either go relish, or if you want to really be wild, forget the relish and go with the maybe some kind of a sauerkraut dog. And that is the king of all dogs.
Yeah, he lost my
Hello?
sauerkraut. I don't sauerkraut in my hot dog.
Well, but I'm telling you, I learned something. I'm going to put a little olive oil on my hot dog.
Yeah, I'm gonna
That's
try
the
that
key.
too.
Right on the grill.
But I don't
That
want
sounds
no sauerkraut in my hot dog.
No.
Oh,
That's-
you'd
that's
be
different.
surprised.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. A kraut dog. Okay. Go your own route. It's up to you now. Had the
Hey,
American
teach his own.
team,
Whatever you like.
Don't give me no sauerkraut.
had the American team eaten the dog I just described, there might have been a different outcome in the Belgium-American game. What the hell happened, Vince Ferragamo? Vince, what happened? The American team, they're going to win. All the newscasters, sportscasters, they're going to win. They got wiped out.
Well, the 4-1, Michael, and the sad thing is that despite having all their players on the field, which came back as one of the rejects. I mean, they came back and they penalized one of the players. That was Fuller Bulligan, and they allowed him to play. They reviewed the video, and apparently they found it, that he was in line with the call. So. They didn't
Did he
penalize
play?
him. They still lost the game.
Did Olin Balogun play? Did we see him actually play? I don't know if that was called playing.
Here, in my opinion,
Jackie, please, yes.
Herein lies the problem.
Yes.
If you looked at the U.S. team, all you could see, in my opinion, was a team that was marred, that was dealing mentally with what had happened with one of their stars, which was unprecedented. It was unprecedented. And, if you were to ask most of the people in America, how do you feel about this young man, Florian Balogun, getting a red card? They would have said And I bet you 99% of the people watching that would have said there was no way that he should have been red carded. No way. But what happened?
True.
What happened? Yeah. It got overturned. And when it got overturned, it came on the heels of the supreme leader of our country, of the free world, expressing his opinion. And then after he expressed his opinion, the whole thing was turned over. Now, I don't think that there's a man or woman in America watching what happened wouldn't agree with what our president felt. I don't think, but the mere fact that he, expressed it from a position of leadership and power in the world, it was perhaps a bit intimidating to the referees, to the officials.
That way, yeah.
And I think that from that point on, I mean, it has never happened before. It may never happen again, where a red card is pulled back, like it was with this kid. And I think, I think all that whole team realized how rare it was to have a red card pulled back like that. And I think they were playing on pins and needles.
They were thinking about it the whole match, it seemed like. But you know what? This didn't happen until 1962. This happened, a call that was reversed. And Brazil actually won the World Cup back in that day. But it's never happened since then. But I feel the whole thing was unnecessary. I mean, it is what it is. You have to live with the call. Referees don't always make the correct call. They make calls. You got to live with it and beat the ref sometimes.
There you go.
Don't you agree with me? Don't you think that every man, woman, and child who follows this great game with FIFA and all, don't you think they would agree with the decision to pull the red card? Don't you think maybe let me ask you this. Don't you think that they felt that red card was too egregious? It was too It was
maybe
too
most
much.
people felt that way, Jack, especially if you were rooting for USA.
Yeah,
but it's just the way it goes. I mean, referees don't always make the correct call.
I know,
over and over again in many sports.
I know, and I think think that
you just gotta live with it. You gotta move on, and you gotta just come back.
Right. I think that everybody felt that way, like the president, like you, like me. Everybody felt that way.
They got
and
outbeat.
I also think that once they saw it overturned, that the people backed away from even the way they felt, because they knew it was unprecedented. And they probably, even the players, began to probably second guess themselves and think, okay, well, this has never happened before. And they were thinking about all of this.
What are your thoughts out there? Email us onpoint@crntalk.com, onpoint@crntalk.com. Jackie Slater, Vince Ferragamo. We'll return after this with On Point Live. We're back with On Point Live. Michael Horn, our producer, Corey Marino. The stars of our show, Jackie Slater, Vince Ferragamo. We're talking a little soccer here today. The U.S. Got wiped out 4-1 by Belgium. Going to look around ahead at the next round. Before we do, here's something no one has talked about, at least in my ears, not hearing about it. And I'd like you, Vince Ferragamo, and you, Jackie Slater, to comment. Okay, a red card was thrown. We didn't think the best player of America was going to play. People got involved. That red card got overturned. But in the real lifeline, the coach and the team were getting ready to play without their number one star. And just before they get ready to go with that game plan, the number one star returns. Did that screw up the United States team? And were they not as fully prepared as they could have been, Jackie Slater?
Well, I think they prepared to move on without this star player.
Right.
And I think
but then they got him back.
Yeah, and I think they based that preparation on the fact that it would have been an unprecedented move for the guy to be reinstated after the officials had made that decision. It was unprecedented to bring him back. So I think that team was geared up to move along with the next best option. And, at any time an injury could occur, so they were going to treat this just like an injury. And then when he came back and was reinstated, I believe that the thought process consumed that team, and they were wondering, how is this happening? It was more thought that went into the reinstatement of
That's
the
it.
player than that went into taking him out.
Yeah.
Vince
playing without
Ferragamo,
him.
your thoughts, Vince.
Well, it's almost like preparing for 2 games, Michael, and you only play in 1 game. You have your entire system set in place, and then all of a sudden something happens, something triggers something. You have a different place, different personnel in the game. You have to change your game on the fly. So yeah, certainly, and it was on everybody's mind. Obviously, it had an effect on the team, psychologically, as we mentioned earlier, and I think it really did have an effect on the game. So sometimes just leave it go. Just like I said, it's unnecessary. Prepare. They wouldn't have made a big scene on it. Maybe they might have won the game. Who knows? But
the thing, Vince, the thing that I think was really underestimated is the coaches' preparation. The coaches having alternative measures that he would take if he loses anyone. A goalie, a striker, he could lose anyone, and he has a plan in place. And I think that plan was forfeited when Boligan was reinstated.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking was not talked about on other shows, and I think we're talking about it. Now let's look at some of these World Cup round 16 recaps. France beating Paraguay 1-0. That was a pretty tough game there, Jackie.
It really was, but what I liked about France was you never sensed that they were not synchronized. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. I haven't watched the game a whole lot over the years, but when I do watch the game, strategically, one of the things that I like seeing, Vince, is the cohesiveness with the way that they play defense. They rarely ever do you see separation from the different tiers that they have. I don't really understand it, what you call them or anything like that, but they do a fantastic job of synchronizing themselves to be in great position to defend any strikes on their goal. I think that's beautiful that they do that.
Defense wins championships, Jackie, and they're going to play Morocco. But Morocco is a high-powered, explosive offense. I mean, they scored 3 goals against Canada. Okay, that's big time, and they're on a roll. So it almost is the confident builder. These games, a lot of these teams coming into the tournament, they already know they're going to probably go to the end. But some of these teams that are new on the scene, like Morocco now, is like, whoa. The sky's the limit. We're going to come out and really produce, and I like Morocco.
And they're having this success off of doing the basic things. You got to play great defense, and then when you get down to scoring area, you got to be able to strike, and you got to do it with with a lot of technique and with a lot of imagination. I think the good teams do. So to see some of the teams that are evolved that are coming to the surface right now, when it really, really matters, as we get down the stretch, it's kind of fun for me to watch.
Morocco 3, Canada 0. Norway beat Brazil 2-1, and Norway, strange way of warming up. Somehow they start rowing by sitting down. What's that all about, Vince?
Well, that was the biggest upset of the tournament so far.
Yep.
I think Norway beating Brazil because Brazil was supposed to go all the way.
Yes, they were.
But they're certainly qualified to move on because they've shown and they showed up to play. But they're going to play England, Mike. And I have to tell you, of all the teams that I've been watching, I watched that England-Mexico game. That was really entertaining. That was fun to watch.
That was a big upset.
3-2 match.
That was a big upset.
It really was. It was another kind of upset because at that point, Mexico and Spain are the only 2 teams that hadn't given up a goal.
Absolutely.
But they gave up 3 goals.
How about this? England? Mexico, 70 wins, 17 draws, and 2 losses.
At home in Mexico City.
At home in Mexico City. And, right here, a lot of our neighbors, a lot of my Mexican friends and good buddies and everything, they had me pulling hard for Mexico. I was pulling hard for Mexico. And there was a lot about what they do that really is really, really good, Vince. They're a really good team.
But it just looked like when they showed up, Jackie, and I don't know that much about soccer, but they just seemed to be, I don't know if it's overinflated or if they were just kind of weren't in shape. Yeah, they were sweating like crazy. They were profuse. And when England just came out, did their normal thing, and they just ran right by them in many occasions. I'm telling you this Anthony Gordon is one of the fastest guys I've seen. He was a threat. Okay, when you have a threat like that, everything opens up for the rest of the team. And then who scores? Harry Kane gets a goal because of his effort to get to the goalie, and he got the penalty kick. And then Jude Bellingham, they're looking for Kane to get the ball, and the ball's coming over his head, and Bellingham just knocks it right in. One time a headbutt in the goal, and then he kicked it with his foot. So.
And now that's the other thing about him.
Watch out!
Is he's a big, tall guy.
Yeah,
he's a big, tall guy, and it seems like that header that he scored on was. It seemed like nobody could get up there with him.
So watch that team.
Watch that. It's Spain beating Portugal 1-0 to get into the next round. That was Spain looking pretty good.
Yeah, Spain is very composed, Mike. They're the only team that has not allowed a goal this entire tournament now.
Pretty interesting.
Okay, they beat Portugal 1-0. They're winning, as we said. Defense wins championships, all right? They're going to play Belgium. I know how big Spain is in the country of Spain.
Right.
It is. I mean, it's like the whole entire world, Mike. I mean, this whole FIFA has taken everybody. I mean, even the people here in the United States soccer wasn't one of our biggest sports years ago. I mean, it's always football, baseball, basketball. Soccer's really caught on. This is really entertaining.
You know what's amazing to me? The skill associated with playing the game of soccer, Vince, is really amazing. I mean, there's so many things. You watch these guys kick that soccer ball around and how they do it, how they control it, they stop it, they change direction, even shots. How many goals have we seen made between the legs of a defender? These guys are anticipating how fast, how much space the players are leaving between their feet to shoot the ball that goal. I mean, it's a really technical sport. You got to be in shape to do it. They don't have very many 300-pound guys like me running around playing soccer.
But they're getting bigger, though.
Yeah, they're getting taller.
These guys are big.
They're tall, Vince. They're not big.
They're
and
rangy.
Heavy.
They're rangy.
Yeah, they're tall and rangy, and they can run. And they're strong. They're strong.
All right, so
it's getting to be a game that, for me, that I really enjoy watching.
Let's look at these final, the next round of 8 here. France going to be playing Morocco. Your thoughts, Vince Ferragamo?
I'll take Morocco.
I'm taking France. It's funny you say that.
I'm taking France.
Good too, but which was the next one, Mike?
I'm doing France. What do you think, Corey?
I'm going to take France.
All right. Spain going up against Belgium, Jackie.
I got to go with Belgium. I simply have to go with them because they beat the U.S. and I think they got a long, rangy team, tall, rangy team that play good defense.
I'll go with Spain.
I'm going to go Belgium on that. Boy, I'm telling you. What do you think, Corey?
I'm going to go Belgium as well.
All right.
Yeah, I'm the odd man out.
Yeah, you are.
All right.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, the seeded rowers going up against England. This may be one of the hottest games that you can see. What do you think, Corey? Norway or England?
I'm going to go with Norway and the rowers.
Me
Jackie.
too. I'm going with Norway and the rowers. It's kind of like the wave. Remember when they were doing the wave in the NFL?
I'm the odd man out. I'm going with England.
I like
going
the fact
England.
that they have that galvanizing move that the fans do and get the players all fired up.
All right, and now we got Argentina going up here at taping time, either Switzerland or Colombia. What do you think? I'm liking Argentina. What do you think, Vince?
I'm going to Argentina. Lionel Messi, man.
Lionel Messi.
I'm going with that team.
I'm going with Lionel Messi.
This could be the last for him.
It could be the last for him, just like it was for Ronaldo, I think. Yeah. But this guy right here has got a lot left in him, and he's Vincent. He gets down with them.
He gets better when the game
and his teammates want the ball in his control,
not his hands.
His control when they get down there scoring because they know he can make the shots.
Corey, your pick.
Argentina all the way.
There you go. Well, pretty interesting scattering of there. And puzzling, so you better order up some Harmony cheese and figure out your
Mike,
own.
You didn't say who you were picking.
Argentina.
He's got
Argentina. All right.
So I'm the oddball out from the other two.
Yes, you are.
All right. So.
HarmonyCheese.com, the place to go. When you check out, if it's your first order, mention CRN Talk, 10% off your order. Email us your picks and preferences. We'll talk about them on the air next week. On Point at crntalk.com, as in Championship Radio Network. On Point at crntalk.com. Don't forget, we're a podcast also on YouTube. Like our YouTube channel. Subscribe to On Point Live with Vince and Jackie. We're going to take a break. When we come back, there's still a lot more ahead. Talking football, baseball, and more. It's On Point Live. We're back with On Point Live. I'm Michael Horn, our producer Corey Marino. The stars of our show, Vince Ferragamo, Jackie Slater. We're going to talk some football here now. We're going to get into training camps very soon. And since you gentlemen played for the Rams the majority of your career, let's talk about the Rams and 6 players, maybe new, maybe changing a direction a little bit, who are going to dominate training camp. Vince, let's start with the quarterback here. Ty Simpson. We got a great quarterback, but this is supposedly our rookie quarterback with a big potential long-term successor after Matthew Stafford. What do you think?
Well, he will be the franchise spotlight for sure, because he's the quarterback, obviously, in the first-round draft pick. But you know what? Matthew Stafford won't play much at all in the preseason. Probably none, if I could recollect the last few years. And so everybody's interested is to see how this guy performs, what he looks like, how does he throw? I mean, how does he command the team? What's he do in the huddle coming out? What kind of leader is he? So all the eyes are going to be on this Ty Simpson. And, that's par for the course, actually, because we were all looking forward to seeing how this guy's going to play. But under Sean McVay, this will be very interesting to see his development and see how fast he will be able to develop and be a backup quarterback, or will they use, Stetson Bennett? So I don't know, but we'll wait and see.
Jackie Slater, your thoughts?
Well, I agree with Vince. A lot of people thought it was unprecedented that they go and draft a quarterback as high as they did this kid when they had the reigning MVP of the National Football League already on their roster. But if you recall, this time a year ago, Matthew Stafford was having problems with his back, and we didn't know if he would even start the season, finish the season, or even play. So they had to do what they had to do. And, I can't say this enough times. When you look at the Rams right now, the leadership that is coming to this organization right now is unprecedented. And I believe it's happening, great leadership is happening at the very, very top. When you go out and spend some of the money that the Rams have spent to make sure that this team is covering every conceivable weakness in this team, you don't make these kinds of decisions when you don't own the money. Snead and Sean McVay are fortunate that they have an owner like Stan Kroenke, and I've said this before, Vince, but the moves that this organization is making, that everybody is watching and seeing around the country, they realize that Stan Kroenke, this is the kind of stuff that Hall of Fame ownership, this is the kind of stuff that they do. Hall of Fame ownership allows the people like the head coaches who could be fired at any moment, who could quit and go into broadcasting at any moment, and the general manager who could be fired at any moment. These guys are at their every decision that they make has to be based on the ownership. And in my opinion, Stan Kroenke is exhibiting Hall of Fame leadership to Snead and Sean McVay to allow them to acquire the players, to make the trades, to spend the money that they're spending to build a football team that can win.
Mike, it's pretty easy when you go after a Myles Garrett, who's one of the best defensive players in the country. Okay, you go out and spend $41.5 million a year, over $208 million for a 5-year contract, Jackie. So, I mean, that's the kind of money. It's not hard to figure that out. I said, I want to strengthen my defense. Let me go for the best guy I can get. Right. And then they go for Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson. Right. They spend $17 million for Watson per year for 3 years. Right. And they spend $31 million for Trent McDuffie.
So my question is,
they're spending money. They want to win.
So my question to you is, how many million came out of Sean McVay's pocket? And how many million came out of Snead's pocket?
Well, hey, none.
It's all ownership. It's Stan Kroenke,
and he wants to win.
I believe that the leadership of this organization, which we have viewed to be as one of the most successful organizations in all of pro sport, and certainly in the National Football League over the last decade or so, at least since Sean McVay has been there. They have a working, organized plan that says, you present it to me and show me how I can win right now, and if I agree with it, then I'll sign off. If I don't agree with it, I won't. Everything is getting signed off. A lot of stuff is getting signed off on. I mean, think about this, Vince. The two most dominant pass rushers that we have seen in the last couple of decades have played for the Rams. Yeah. And they have been happy and been well paid and been expected to be leaders and have done that for the last 10 years. That's true. So that comes down from ownership. There's no doubt in my mind about it. And they are lucky that they have Stan Kroenke leading this football team.
A few years back, Mike, they went to a Super Bowl at SoFi Stadium. The Super Bowl, the host of this year's Super Bowl, will be at SoFi Stadium.
Absolutely.
And when you spend $5 billion for a new stadium like that,
right?
You want to fill
doesn't
it.
matter. You don't. I mean, let's just go. We got to get another Super Bowl back in town.
That's right.
Who's going to beat them? With those guys on defense, you tell me.
All right, Vince. What about this?
I don't care what kind of game plan you have.
And not to mention, the other areas where this team has gotten better. This team has gotten better in a lot of areas, Mike. Yeah. I mean, they have invested money in guys that can make plays. One of the guys, we knew what Kyron Williams and Blake Corum did in the running game a year ago. But they have a running back named Jarquez Hunter who averaged 6.4 yards per carry at Auburn. In other words, this guy is very, very explosive. He can hit the hole and get his feet down and gain extra yardage every time you give him the ball. And Vince, we talked about it. Ron Gould and Ryan Wendell, the offensive line coach, and the run game coordinator. These guys have taken the Rams. In 2022, the Rams had 1,661 yards rushing and 15 touchdowns. In 2025, they had 2,152 yards rushing and 17 touchdowns. Now that's improvement. And that's improvement in an area where Sean McVay may not have cut his teeth very well. So these two guys, Ryan Wendell and Ron Gould, to be working collectively on this offensive line, strengthening them, putting them in some situations where they know how to attack the defenses that they're being confronted with. This is rare coaching. And Vince, you talked about it a minute ago. How many coaches do they have? 30 coaches or something? They probably have more coaches. They probably have more coaches than any team in the NFL, and all of them are good at their particular expertise.
You almost have, Mike, a coach for every position that they play today. Almost.
What about kicking?
That's basically it.
The Rams had problems with kicking. Kicking last year was a problem at the beginning of the season. They got this Harrison Mevis on the team now. Is that going to be the upgrade you see?
Well, Mevis did great job last year. I think he was 16 to 17 field goals, and he was pretty dynamic when he came on the scene.
He missed one of 67 kicks in the regular season.
Okay. Unbelievable.
One of 67
that
kicks
includes a PAT
in the regular season. Yes.
But I mean, what do they call him? The thicker kicker.
The thicker kicker.
I mean, if he can kick, we look at Tom Dempsey. Remember the old Tom Dempsey?
Yes.
Straight-on kicker, man.
He had a nub foot.
He ate with the lineman, didn't he?
His kicking foot was about 4 inches long.
Yeah.
And
he ate with the lineman, man. That's how far he can kick.
But Vince, I will tell you one thing that occurred with the Rams that speaks volumes to me about Sean McVay and Kroenke's commitment to winning. For the first time that I can think of, the Rams went out and they brought in a guy named Grant Stewart.
Okay.
They gave him $2.5 million a year. Now, you know what Grant Stewart's specialty is?
Special teams.
Special teams. He covers kicks.
That's the first time I think they've ever went for an individual player on special teams.
On the market, as a special teams player, they have gone and stepped up to the plate and said that if there's one area where we might have some deficiency, it's here in the kicking game. Let's go out and get the best guy and maybe the guy that can galvanize the people that we have in place right now to make sure that third phase and very important phase of the game will give us a chance to be successful. When I saw that, I thought to myself, here's a team that wants to win a Super Bowl at SoFi. They want to win the Super Bowl at SoFi.
Jalen Watson, the quiet defensive X factor, a lot of people say. Kanata Mumfield battle at heating up there at wide receiver. What do you think of these guys?
Wide receiver spot, yeah.
Devontae Adams likes him a lot, Michael.
Yep.
And Mumfield's done really well in the past. And so, they're looking for that third standout receiver. Obviously, it's going to be very important. But also, don't forget, they have 6 tight ends. So they're going to be using a lot of 13
They got
personnel.
8 tight ends, man. 8 tight ends.
Well, they won't have 8 going into the final.
Yeah, but they go out of 8 going into the preseason.
Well,
That's a lot of tight ends.
So
And think about the success they had, Vince. Wasn't it something like, didn't they average something like 6.2 yards per play every time they ran 13?
Very successful. Very successful because Ron Gould is clever, Jackie, and he spent 16 years at Cal, Mike. He went to Stanford. He's put his time in. And like Jackie said, Ryan Wendell on the offensive line. Coaching is everything, okay? But you have to present their knowledge to the players so that they will absorb it and be able to perform with great strides on the field and execute, okay? So they are very well prepared to do that, and they know how to do it. That's why the Rams went from 27th rushing offense to 10th rushing offense in 1 year.
Exactly.
And that's the quiet leadership of these coaches. They're sitting behind the scenes creating all this.
Now, Mike, there's one thing we're going to have to keep an eye on. Lark Jackson, who I think is just absolutely special as a left tackle, and the Rams stepped up to the plate and paid him a year ago. We're waiting a decision from the commissioner as to how he's going to be treated because he ran into a rough spot off the field. And I think the Rams are anticipating using a guy named Keegan Tross, who was a third-round pick in this past year's draft. He's 6'5", about 316, maybe at left tackle. But the only problem that I have, Vince,
his arm length.
Yes, he's got a 32-inch wingspan.
And then a full span, Jackie, he's 80 inches. You just measured, you were 86 inches.
Yeah, it's a considerable.
The arm length, Mike, is so important for an offensive lineman.
Yeah, those pythons, once they wrap around you, man.
The problem with playing tackle and having, short extremities is that when contact is made, particularly when the worst type of contact is made between an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman, that means he's bull rushing you. You have to catch him. You can't impede his rush sooner. My whole thing was, because my arms were so long, I could reach out and touch a guy as he breached my arm range and begin to slow him down before he got a big head of steam up. When your arms are shorter, you can't do that. The guy drops his shoulder, takes another step into you with his inside foot, and you're dealing with the very worst that he could possibly show you on a bull rush. So it could be a problem, and maybe they'll use this guy not so much as a tackle, but as a guard where the impact is not quite as much because the guys don't have as much time.
Well, Ryan Wendell will be able to figure that out because he's had great understudy under Dante Scarnecchia, right?
Absolutely.
So he understands the guys, what their strengths and weaknesses are. So, Mike, they will play the right position.
They'll put him where he could be the most impactful.
Limited time here. Let's take a look as we get into the July 14th All-Star Game in baseball. Citizens Bank Park, Philadelphia, going to be on Fox TV. 26 first-time All-Stars. Who's going to win it, National or the American, Jackie?
You got to figure they got 5 Dodgers. They got 5
Well,
Dodgers.
maybe 6 with Yamamoto now.
Yeah, but I'm telling you right now, Vince. I'm watching more baseball than I ever did.
Yeah, pretty incredible.
And I'm watching these guys. I'm watching the first baseman, the third baseman, the shortstop, Mookie. These guys are just fantastic, man. They got a nice rhythm. Shohei Ohtani is the most dangerous.
They're running away with it in the NFC West, right, Jackie?
They're running away.
What are they, 16 games up over the – now it's not even the Padres anymore. I think it's not the Colorado Rockies.
It's Arizona.
Everybody, but, it was a big disappointment that Colorado came back and beat them the other night. After they jumped out on 5.
Almost beat them. All right, we're going to take a break, and we come back more with Jackie Slater, Vince Ferragamo. The show is On Point Live. Check out harmonycheese.com. We're back with On Point Live. Vince Ferragamo, Jackie Slater. Vince, you're into tennis. Tell me a little bit about this Naomi Osaka's breakthrough Wimbledon run. What's going on here?
She had never beat Sabalenka before on this final run.
Never.
And in Wimbledon here on the grass, Jack, she was just overpowering. I mean, to look at her with her shots and the way she was getting to the ball and just her overall, just
her presence.
Feel. Yeah.
Her presence. It was different.
Confident.
It was different, Ben.
Yeah. I mean, she just really stepped up. I mean,
she stepped up.
Awesome.
Vince, I think it has to do with her growing up. I think it has, again, she's been a young protege that we've been watching play this sport, for a number of years. And Sabalenka is basically a veteran. She has been competing at a very high level for a much longer time. And then to see how Osaka came out and she beat her 6-2, 7-6 in the Wimbledon Championship. Yeah. I mean, this is what we're seeing is a young, talented tennis player growing up.
And Coco Gauff was good too, Jackie.
Yes,
she played very well and very excited. Happy to be there.
And she's stronger too.
Yeah, it just makes a better player all around. I mean, these guys are playing with great confidence. These women.
And they're learning.
So are the guys.
They're learning to play different.
They're playing on grass. You mentioned
on grass.
That's a big difference, isn't it, Vince? Just like in football.
Yeah, yes. I think it's a different surface. The ball bounces differently. You can slide. You can get to balls differently, and maybe it's more athletic. You have to be. But even the men, Mike, I do miss Carlos Alcaraz. And he's not in this tournament. He's still hurt. But you see Jannik Sinner still playing at a top level. Djokovic still playing. Fritz winning a big game against Alexander Bublik. Yeah. I mean, he was playing then. Flavio Caboli. I mean, come on, it's fun to watch.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
this is great. This is great tennis right now.
Vince, you ever grab a racket and sort of play around a little bit, still sparring around with
my
Jackie?
son-in-law was a tennis player and played it for a long time, and my grandkids like tennis, and my wife does. But I get out there and play doubles or something.
You know the reason why he doesn't play.
Why is that?
Why he doesn't play?
Why?
Because every time Vince plays any sport with a racket and a ball, he blows out his Achilles.
All right, more on that next week. More on that next week, everybody. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, HarmonyCheese.com. On your order, when you check out, mention CRN Talk. All right, and next week, Vince Ferragamo, Jackie Slater. What do we always say?
Stay on point.